Okay, my name is Fred Trotter, and I'm working with CareSys Systems, and we're doing an emergency backup of the AHRQ resources that are going to be going down on July 16th. This is Sunday, July 15th. We unfortunately had looked at this a long time ago, so we have a little bit of a head start examining the site, but we did not realize that there was a date on it going down. So this is emergency work, and it's a little bit shoddy. My apologies for that. Also, this video is not going to be terribly well produced. It's just going to tell you quickly where we are and what specific efforts have been done to figure things out. So here is our understanding of what's going on right now. There's two websites that are generally being threatened. This is the National Guideline Clearinghouse at www.guideline.gov. The other website looks like it's already down. It was not down when we did the scraping last night, which was good because it's down now. But www.qualitymeasures.arq.gov was the website there. So here's the summary of what these two websites done. One was for guidelines. One's for quality measures. Really, they're the same kinds of things with different levels of specificity and usefulness. But as you go down here and you look at these guideline summaries, you have the guidelines, and then we are theorizing that, we're hoping that the automatic activity of Wayback Machine was enough to mostly back up the websites, and we believe that it is, but we're looking to prove that and to find out if there's anything else that doesn't happen, so that doesn't get backed up. When there is a complicated search functionality, and let me just show you the search functionality here on the guidelines search. You can do advanced search with all of these kinds of factors. The results here have links to static pages. Now, what we have done so far is if you change the number of shown at a time to be 100 instead of 20, and you click here to do all summaries, you can get a quick listing of everything that's a guideline in the system. Now, one thing that's it's important to understand, I'm now looking at Wayback Machine to verify that this a particular guideline is there. The guidelines themselves, at least as of yesterday, are crashing. It looks like they're back up. So these pages are not always accessible, just like this one. We're sometimes getting errors when we go back. But if we go to an instance of, let me find one. We're now looking in Wayback Machine at this same web page. If you go over to the classifications tab here, you'll see that you have these age group filters, UMLS concepts, ICD mesh, all of these things which are essentially tagging systems that are coming from the National Library of Medicine. These are the equivalent to the ticks over here in the search bucket, right? So so there should be information that maps to all of these search criteria that are in each thing, but it's in here in the tabs and the needs assessments and the status. So as long as you have an adequate download of each individual page, we should be able to replicate the search functionality as we see it. Now, the assumption that we're making here, and this is the assumption that I'm making this video because I'd like help from, whoever can help, to figure out what else is this website doing. The matrix tool here is a way of comparing against, like you select a kind of a market basket of these guidelines or these measures, and then you compare them in a kind of a matrix, but it's still hitting essentially the things that are available under these tabs in a kind of matrix search functionality. So I should still be able to replicate the matrix tool functionality. Now, obviously, there's a whole back-end system for submitting guidelines and submitting measures and having those evaluated, and replicating that functionality is a much higher level process replacement. What I want to make sure of is that just everything the website is doing now and all the data from the website is backed up. So all the stuff regarding to submit guidelines, unfortunately, I'm going to be ignoring. Although if someone has a login, because I don't seem to be able to create a new login at this point, and can tell me what stuff is behind the login, that would be super helpful. I think there might be some things that are behind the login that are need to be replicated. I think there's news items, so there was some weekly news that came out, and those may or may not be lost. I'm not focusing on these RSS feed functionalities. But if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, after all of the stuff, you know, is all this stuff, you know, related NCQ measures, you know, accessibility? I mean, there's tons of stuff here. Is there hidden functionality that's super useful, that's super important? The answer is I don't know. I also not spent much time on the HHS measures inventory. So I'm just focusing on these two top main websites, Quality Measures and National. And the strategy that we're doing, we go over to our GitHub repo. We've got this get guidelines, get measures, and what this has done is populated these two things, which are mirrors of these two websites. Let me take a pause on this video. Can I pause this video?